okay? But I get the chance to observe both where you're at, what's around you, what's around me, what your intentions are. Do you have a weapon, right? What's my internal state? And your focus is on me, okay? So we have to have this difference of focus if we are to survive a situation where this guy is much bigger than us, perhaps more skilled, you know, whatever the case may be. If I go force on force, I'm going to lose. So I have to bide my time to get the right shots with the right intensity without taking damage, because I don't want to take any damage if I can help it. Okay? So when they're at a 10, we're at a 0 or a 1. And then as we go through the fight, we pot shot, we move, we inflict pain, they start going down, we start going up, and at the right moment, we enter at 100%. So we have to have the ability to go from 0 to 100, but also back down to 0 should my pass not work. Okay, make sense? Because it's really not the pass that I'm talking about. I'm talking about the ability to turn it on, turn it off, turn it on again, and turn it back off. Not because of what I want, but because of what's actually happening in the moment. And you cannot predict that. You may do a pass and it doesn't work, you have to go back to 0. Okay? And this is something Steve needs to learn. Where is he? Okay, so we have 4 components of the actual overall scale, right? And these are also on a scale. So we're going to define these. All right. First one is going to be, and these are in no particular order, our focus. Second is our intent. Third are our actions. And finally, our emotions. Okay, so our focus, provided we have the luxury of distance, okay? And this is going to be true for conversations that you're in or whatever it is. It can be presenting, right? Your focus, when you're at this end of the scale, has to be wide, okay? You have to take in the entire setting. You have to know what's behind you, where your possible dangers are, where your exits are, right? Who's friends with who? Are there weapons involved? So we have to turn down our internal dialogue, which we'll get to next, is our intent or our thought process. But our actual physical focus with our eyes needs to widen. And when you do this, you put yourself in an alpha state. Does anybody know what an alpha state is? It's like a light hypnotic trance. You're able to take in more information so you can process more without your conscious mind getting involved. Because if you overthink things, you're not going to pick up the threats out there, or he may move in and now you're in danger city because you were thinking, oh my God, I left the stove on, okay? When you're here, so that's one. We'll list this over here. We have a wide focus. Actually, I should reverse that for y'all. Wide focus. This is 0, 100. Right? So what's our focus when we make our decision? When we go in with our blast, right? Where we actually make the decision that we can take this big guy out of commission with our killer instinct, our bad intentions, our dark side, right? Where's our focus? So if it's wide, what do we have over here? Narrow. Right? Oftentimes, when you train this sufficiently, you will black out. And this is actual physiological function. When people get into life and death situations, something happens fast, you become hyper-focused. So a lot of the peripheral will go away. Not always, but a lot of times it'll go away. So we want to take our focus and shift it to just that one thing that's right in front of us. So if it's a goal, that when we decide to go through and destroy our obstacle or to get our goal, our focus is on that, and that's it. That's all that exists. Whereas out here, we're assessing everything that we can. We're open, we're assessing. We're not labeling, we are just assessing what is and what is happening. We're not adding to it, and we're getting out of the subjective mind, right? Our focus becomes narrow. Our intent or our thought process, when we're over here, our thought process is to be assessing and observing, right? But we also want to be not rattled. In other words, you want to be safe under pressure. You're going to have blows coming at you, right, in the context of a street fight. But we want to have a detachment. It doesn't mean apathetic. And this is true for conversations or for pickup or whatever it is, right? When you are in this state of things and you're open and you're assessing what's going on, it's like you're light and playful, right? You have to have some sort of emotional attachment. If you're apathetic, especially in conversation, the other person will pick it up. You don't care at all, there's no emotional attachment, it's going to blow the whole thing. Unless that's your goal, right? If that's your goal, then that's fine. But in a street fight, we have to have some element, some emotional attachment. So there's going to be a little bit of fear there. And a little bit of fear is okay. But we don't want that to overwhelm us. Okay? So we want the thought process of being more of assessing. You know, nice shirt, nice tie. Watch out for the traffic back there. Hey, the cops are coming over there. That lady's on her cell phone. This guy might have a weapon. You know, whatever it is, it's assessing. We might be adding a little bit to it, but it's more in the language of, hey, watch out, this might happen. Okay? We're assessing. Whereas this, the intent, the thought process behind when we go to 100% in our killer instinct is one or nothing. Okay? It's one or nothing. Either you have no thought in that moment, and that's hard to sustain if we're able to sustain it at all, right? It's one or nothing. And that one could be go, could be kill, could be fuck you, could be a scream. Whatever it is, whatever your mantra is, you do it. Mine, I tend to black out. I tend to not remember. Just, well, guys on the ground. Oh, okay. Not always, but, you know. That's the intent. But the intent is one or nothing. And when we can go from this, right, we're up and moving, to this, go 100%, that's the thought. When you can get, and it's a feeling, right? I can demonstrate it, but it's the feeling. When you can get that intention, more often, you're going to see a whole bunch of things happen for you. Because a lot of us are ADHD now, just by the very, very nature of things. There's so much going on. Or we're too narrowly focused, but we're over here, right? Focus should be here when we're intense, but we're trained to be focused on our computer. We don't look at the peripheral. So it's killing this over here. The very fact that we have to stay in our cubicles. So at my company, I have a saying that says, kill your cubicle. Because we're training to be in this box, right? It's a prison cell. So if you physically go out and kill your cubicle, film it. Okay? If you go and you actually throw your computer, that's not what I'm talking about. But if you do that, film it. Give it to me. I want to use it. Okay? But I'm talking about the cubicle in your mind. Because we really do, physically, when we're here. And I'm not saying you can't have, great things don't come from writing or all that. But me personally, when I spend too much time on the computer, I can feel it. I have to go back out and physically change my focus. Go through the routine I'm going to show you guys so I can remind myself that I have this motivation side of me, that I have the ability to do what I want versus I don't even know that exists. I got to pay the next bills, okay? So that's our intent.